Good morning, stations! What's up? This is another episode of English syntax tutorial. So, let's talk about subject-verb agreement. This topic is quite easy, yet confusing. There are a lot of students out there that doesn't know about this topic. So, let's go! Hi guys! Welcome to this YouTube channel, English Syntax Tutorial with Kyle 101. So, for today's topic, we have subject-verb agreement. So, what is a subject-verb agreement? Subject-verb agreement means that a subject and its verb must be both singular or plural. A singular subject takes a singular verb, and a plural subject takes a plural verb. Let us take a look at some examples and let us study about that. So, here are the examples.
First rule, a singular subject requires a singular verb. A plural subject requires a plural verb. In contrast with pluralization of noun, where we are adding s at the end of the noun, plural form of the verb doesn't have s at the end, it is in its base form. Example, Idina sings beautifully. Idina, the subject is singular, so we use singular verb, which is sings. Another example, the boys go to church. The noun boys is in plural form, and we use the verb go, which is also in plural form. But there are exemptions to this rule. The pronouns I and you follow a different rule. Example, I walk at the park. You wash the dishes. The subject in the given sentence, I and you, are both singular. However, the pronouns I and you are always paired with plural action verbs.
For more English syntax tutorial, just follow my page, like this page, and tap the notification bell for you to be updated on every new videos. Thank you. Bye-bye. What's up, stations? This is another video of English syntax tutorial. For this episode, we will talk about the tenses of verb. So, let's get it on. There are a lot of tenses of verb, but let us just look at these three kinds, or the three primary tenses of verb. Here it goes.
Verb tenses depend on when the action takes place. So, what are the verb tenses? There are three verb tenses: past, present, and future tense. Past tense means it already happened. When I want to write a verb in the past tense, I add ed. But not all verbs follow that rule. She walked to the park. We added ed to the verb walk to show that it happened in the past. They danced to their favorite song. We added ed to the verb dance to show that it happened in the past. Again, not all action verbs like to follow the rules when we talk in the past. So that means not all verbs we can add ed to show that they are in the past. For example, we say, he slept for 9 hours. For the verb sleep, I don't add ed like I do with other verbs. I change it completely and say slept. Another example is the verb eat. I say the girl ate her dinner, not eated. Present tense means it is happening now. Depending on the subject in the sentence, I either add s or es, or I just keep the verb as is. The cat scratches the chair. She writes in her journal. My sister cooks dinner. For all these examples, we added s or es to the verb because the subject in the sentence is singular. They look for clues. We dance together. For both verbs, we did not add s or es. We left them as is because the subjects in both sentences are plural. Future tense means will happen, and in that case we add the word will before the verb. It will rain tomorrow. She will read the last chapter. We will eat the whole pizza pie. They will find the missing ring. For all these examples, it shows that it will happen in the future.
Now that you know how to use the tenses of verb, you can now express yourself better, a lot better than before. And that's good for you. This is the end of this video, and thank you for watching, and please subscribe, follow, and like, and tap the notification bell for more videos. Bye bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Villarin from ABEL 2B. I will tackle the 3 ways to use syntax in literature. Besides being critical to conveying literal sense, syntax is also of the key tools written use express meaning in the variety of different ways. Syntax can help a writers. The first one is to produce rhetorical and aesthetic effect. By varying the syntax of their sentences, written are able to produce different rhetorical and aesthetic effect. How a writer manipulates the syntax of their sentences is an important element of writing style. The example of this is I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King Jr. On the August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. gave an impassioned speech of the steps of the Lincoln to end racial discrimination, using figurative language and the rhetorical devices, anaphora which emphasize a point through a repetition. Second is a control pace and mood. Manipulating syntax is one of the ways readers control the pace and mood of their prose. For example, the writer Ernest Hemingway is known for his short, declarative sentences, which were well suited to his clear style of writing. This gave his prose a forceful, direct quality. And the last one is a great atmosphere. By contrast, Hemingway's fellow story writers and novelist William Faulkner is famous or infamous for his meandering paragraph-long sentences, which often mimic the phonerative thinking of his character. The sentence, which often ignore the standard rules of punctuation and grammar, help create an atmosphere as much as they convey information.
Hi, in this important lesson, I'm going to show you how to use the three very common prepositions in English, and they are at, on, and in. We're going to use triangle method to learn at, on, and in. So we have a triangle, and as you can see, at the top, on in the middle, and in at the bottom. So what does it mean? At is used when we're talking about very specific places, and on used for a little bit more than a specific place. It's a little bit wider. And the last one is in. In is used for a large areas. So here are some examples of three common prepositions, but we're going to refer it into places. So the example of at a specific name, address, place. So at McDonald, at 25 Main Street, at JTK Airport. Next one is on, medium street, highway, or floor. On Main Street, on Route 66, on the 6th floor. And the last one is in, large city, state, or countries. In Los Angeles, in California, in the US. So that's all for the prepositions. Thank you. Basic rules. A singular subject takes a singular verb, whereas a plural subject takes a plural verb. Example number 1. There is only one dog. Therefore, it is singular. So, it takes singular verb. Let's use it in a sentence. The dog plays with its master. Dog is a singular agreement with singular verb plays. Example number 2. The dog barks to a stranger. Dog is a singular agreement with singular verb barks. Example number 2. There are 3 dogs. So, it's plural. Therefore, it takes plural verb. Let's use it in a sentence. The dogs play with its master. Dogs is a plural agreement with plural verb play. The dogs bark to a stranger. Dogs is a plural agreement with plural verb bark.
Our topic for today is components of language syntax. Syntax in English is the arrangement of words and paragraphs in a specific order. If you change the position of even one word, it's possible to change the meaning of the entire sentence. Notice how moving the word only changes the meaning of the entire sentence. Keep in mind that only can be an adjective or an adverb. Adjective modifies the nouns that come after them, and adverb modifies the verb adjective or other adverbs that come after them. Example: only Batman fights crime. Meaning, Batman is the only person who fights crime. No one except Batman fights crime. Not even Superman. Another example: Batman only fights crime. Meaning, fighting crime is the only
Our topic for today is about 12 tenses of verb. The first, present, and the future, simple tenses are the most fundamental forms. Although there are 12 major verbs tenses in English as a word. First one, present simple used to describe habits, routines, and permanent situation. For example, I eat breakfast every morning. Present continuous used to describe ongoing action at the present moment. Example, she is reading a book right now. Number 3, present perfect used to describe an action that happened in the past but has a connection or relevance to the present. For example, they have already finished their homework. The fourth one, present perfect continuous, used to describe ongoing action that started in the past and continue up to the present moment. Example, we have been studying for 3 hours. Past simple, used to describe completed action or events in the past. For example, he is studying English last year. He was used to describe ongoing action or event in the past. For example, they were playing soccer when it started raining. That's all for today's discussion. I hope you learned from me. Thank you for watching.
Hello everyone, this is Janice. So today we were diving deep into the world of syntax. So now we will just focus on the two key areas, which are the subject-verb agreement and the tenses. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. So for today's session, we were going to discuss first what is the subject-verb agreement. So first up, if you still didn't know what is the subject-verb agreement, or if you don't have any idea about it, now let me tell you that the subject-verb agreement is a fundamental rule of English grammar that states that the subject of your sentence and the verb must agree in number. So that means that if your subject is singular, your verb should also be singular. But if your subject is plural, your verb should also be plural. So take a look at this example. So the cat chases its tail. So here, the cat is the subject, so we use chases, which is a singular verb. But if we say that the cats chase their tails, so the cats is a plural subject, so we use chase, which is a plural verb. Did you get it? But remember that English is a tricky language, but there are exceptions to this rule, especially with the indefinite pronouns, collective nouns, and phrases that express a quantity. So always be on the lookout for these special cases. So that's all for today's lesson. So I hope that you learned something from this tutorial about the subject-verb agreement. Now, keep practicing and I'll see you in our next video. Bye! Hello everyone, again this is Janice. So today we will continue our discussion. So if part 1 is all about the subject-verb agreement, now we will talk about the tenses. So if you haven't watched part 1, so you can watch it now to get rid of your confusion. So moving on, so tenses, if you still didn't know what is tenses, well, let me tell you that tenses are incredibly important as they help us to understand when an action took place. So in English, we have 3 main tenses, and these are the past, present, and the future. So now, what is past tense? Well, past tense describes the actions that have already happened. Say for example, I watched a movie. So that's for past tense. How about the present tense? It describes what's happening now or the general truth. So, for instance, I watched a movie. Now let's move on to the future tense. So, future tense describes when will happen later. So say for example, I will watch a movie. But wait, there's more. So each of these tenses has 4 aspects. So these are the simple, continuous, perfect, and the perfect continuous. So these aspects allows us to express exactly when and how an action took place. Say for example, I am watching a movie. So this is an example of the present continuous, which means the action is happening right now. Another example, I have watched a movie. This is an example of a present perfect, which means that the action happened at an unspecified time before now. Remember that mastering these rules will make your sentences clear and clear communication effective. So that would be all for today's tutorial. I hope that you learned something from it, and let me know if you have some clarifications and queries about it. Okay? Bye!